Hi, it's Lisa Meese again, talking some more about the world of professional cuddling. And I decided to make a video today because I wanted to share a great story that a friend of mine told me about how she is using a thing that she learned actually at a snuggle party in her real life or in the rest of her life. So she took her nephews to see the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a great movie. But in the middle, there's this part where they're spacing a bunch of people. And so that's a little upsetting, right? Because you're throwing people out an airlock. And so her nephew turned to her during that part of the movie and said, "I don't think I can watch this anymore." And she said she turned back to him and said, "Thank you for protecting your boundary with me." And what an amazing teaching moment that is for her and her nephew, because we live in this culture that often says, boundaries, you shouldn't have those. But we all do. And when somebody that we care about expresses a boundary, they're really giving us a gift. It's a scary thing to say no. It's a hard thing to not just go along with the momentum of the moment. And we have cause to be grateful when that happens. And she was really grateful to her nephew for trusting her enough to tell her how he was feeling. And so this is a moment that built trust between them. It deepened their relationship. They're able to go do something different. And then what a brave kid, right? He's there with his older brother, and he's in the middle of this movie that everybody's been talking about, and he decides it's not for him. And that's a great sort of characteristic to encourage in kids, figuring out what's right for them and speaking that into the world. So this is part of the reason that I feel like this work around boundaries is important, not just for people in a physical context, but for the world that we live in, right? We have spent a lot of years in corporate structures and in government structures saying the message is push through, push through, push through. And when we go back and look at things like the Shuttle Challenger disaster, there were people standing there saying, hey, this is a bad idea. But the dominant culture was keep pushing. And then the ship blew up, right? So it is not always a good idea to push through boundaries. And so we need to balance that in our culture. So this is one tiny little example, but I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was important. And so that's my message. If you want to work on your boundaries, professional cuddling is one context to do that. It's definitely a space where there's a lot of communication around boundaries and a lot of safety around boundaries. So if you want to engage with me for that, you'd find me at cuddlist.com/Lisa. Or I also have a workshop called Embracing Our Boundaries, where we talk about the components of a good boundaries culture, a good consent culture. So if you're interested in that, you can find me online and talk to me about that as well. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.